Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are checking out Adolescence. This is one that many of you recommended for us to check out. So, got a kind of a semi-idea of what I'm in for, but first time watch for me, so let's take the ride, I suppose.
I have not seen this, so I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to dive right in head first and see where this goes.
Yeah, I also haven't seen it. I've heard people buzzing about it on social media for a little while now. I know it came highly recommended, but I really don't know much about it.
I know jack about this until you all started pushing and recommending it. So, hey, let's see what kind of ride we're in for. Let's go! Only thing I know about this is folks were saying in our comments that this is all one-take shots.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did
That's
the
all I
guy
know.
behind 1917 do this?
Stephen Graham, who was in Peaky.
Okay.
How's that bad stomach thing again? Get out the day of school, please.
Oh, take a lot more than that to get the day off school.
Time is it? 6 a.m. that commitment. Don't want to go, does he?
Yeah, he knows Tracy will say no, and I'm the soft touch.
What are you going to reply?
Well, she'll sort it. He'll go. Know thyself.
Disgusting.
Bravo Delta 50 to Bravo Delta 60. You ready to roll up?
Yeah, ready.
Received. Let's go, Joe. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy shit. And we're already seeing these one-shot takes here. Continuous shots. Pretty impressive. Oh,
you get
even more.
you get lost in that neighborhood pretty easy. Everything looks the same.
Holy shit.
What are we in for?
That is a good question.
Police! Get down on the floor! What's going on?
There's Steven.
Look, you've got the wrong house. I'm telling you, you're making a big mistake.
What is this, swatting or something?
Hey, police, suspect found. Show me how. Get your hands in there.
Whoa.
Jamie Miller.
What's going on?
The time is 6:15 a.m. and I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder.
Whoa.
Oh,
You got anything in your pockets that may harm me or you? No. Okay. You want to change your trousers? Yeah. You want to get your dad?
Yes, please.
I mean, this has to be pretty damn scary for a kid, but what the hell happened and what did he do?
Is this the parents' room?
Yeah. What are we doing there, Mr. Miller? Please.
Mate, yeah.
Thank you.
just tossing everything.
Mrs. Miller, no, you can't. What are you? You're wrecking me house. What are you looking for?
Oh, they are just
Yeah, just
going through everything.
There's no way he's done
See
this.
there.
Look, he's had guns in his face and everything. I hope he's happy with yourselves. He's done nothing. He's a kid.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Base, this is Bravo Delta 50.
Go ahead, Bravo Delta 50.
Yeah, 1095. All okay and cooperative, okay?
what a morning. Holy cow.
What a start.
I know it's hard. You need to calm down, okay? Just calm yourself down, mate.
The style of the continuous shot is very unique. Kind of digging how they're pulling it off.
Yeah. Well, from an acting standpoint,
I thought they did a great job capturing the chaos
Yeah.
that probably could be and would be.
This is not the place to be speaking about anything like that. All right? Save all of this for when we get there. Don't say another word.
they said he was what, 13?
13.
Won't prejudice your case, whatever you decide, mate. All right?
I know the laws are different, but I'm surprised they can make a 13-year-old have to make those decisions.
He's doing his best to keep his emotions under control, too. How they kept that shot the entire time all the way to the station.
Well, just given how much time has to pass, like with car rides and everything else, if it is all one continuous shot, I imagine it's going to take place over maybe like 2 days max.
Yeah, D.I. Bascom, one in custody.
Okay.
Inside, please.
Interesting, he's not handcuffed either.
Okay, just sat me.
It is. That's interesting you brought that up because I was kind of pondering that too. But again, I don't know if things are different for
in the
their
UK.
groups here.
Can I go to?
Jamie, we just need to process you here, son. The sooner we do this, the sooner we can bring your dad in. All right, lad? A cornflake's all right for you, Jamie. Just pay attention, Jamie. You're doing well, son. This bit's nearly over now. You're doing really well. All right, son?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got to give it to this kid so far. He's been acting his ass off.
Yeah.
It's what we call a dry cell. So if you need a toilet, you're going to have to ask, all right?
Oh.
And just the little emotions from the officers.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to see his face for that.
I like the way they did that shot where they were following the two guys and then they veered
Right off.
No. What?
Mrs. Miller, how's it going?
Brilliant, yeah.
Well,
If your son has admitted to you anything regarding this case or any of the events leading up to this case, you can't do this job.
No, he hasn't said anything.
Look, I'm only saying because it could jeopardize this case, okay?
No, and I told you, you've got it wrong, mate. He hasn't done anything. He said nothing to us.
Holy shit.
wow.
This is...
Well, don't be letting everyone know what's happening. We haven't even got a clue ourselves yet, love.
Texting Susie to make sure our house is okay. We haven't got a door anymore, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right. They took that down.
It's just a mistake. You see it on the telly all the time. It's just a mistake.
She said they were charging him with murder, didn't
Well,
she?
he hasn't done anything, has he?
No, of course he hasn't.
Of course it
Yeah,
has.
they've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Of course they have, yeah.
Man, what kind of chaos is that family in?
Morning, Carol.
Morning. All right.
Yeah. All right.
We're getting multiple perspectives here, which is very unique.
I'm not worried about the dad. Why? What are you saying?
I had this old case once, right? Young boy. Put it this way, it took us months before we realised what the dad was doing to him, so...
I don't see it, mate. I don't.
No, you're right.
Wow.
Well, I suppose they see all the worst stuff.
They sure do.
Want to go through the plan again?
I mean, we could, but honestly, I think we could, mate.
All right, I get it.
Go and have enough.
I'm going to have a walk, all right? See you later.
So we get the back walk from her, front walk from him. That's cool.
Post-charge is he's underage. The council are going to have to decide which accommodation they can move him to.
Oh, hello. Nice of you to join us.
Joking, me. Do you know what time it is? No.
Well, he's been accused of murdering someone with a kitchen knife.
Okay, so where are we going to put him now?
Cross that bridge when we come to it, won't we? Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sound.
Cool.
A kitchen knife?
Reminds me of that case we had in Wisconsin not that long ago.
Anyway, did Adam go in? Keeps on texting me. And I've told Misha he only texts me because he knows I'm the soft toucher.
Sir, got it.
Good.
Right back to this guy now.
God, we're gonna know this place pretty well. after
Yeah,
this
I'm
episode.
starting to feel dizzy here with all these transitions.
I don't see a vulnerability here that police need to be aware of.
Here you go, niece, son.
I don't want to. I haven't done anything. Do you believe me that I've not done anything?
Of course I believe you.
Sorry, Mr. Miller. I'm going to have to ask you to leave if that's okay.
Man, what a spot for the dad to be in.
Eat cornflakes.
Yeah, I know the mom and dad, just want to be there every single second because they don't even know what's going on either.
All of a sudden, 6:15 in the morning, boom, your kid's being accused of that.
I hate juvenile cases, mate.
No one likes them.
Morning, Sergeant.
Morning.
Jamie Miller.
All right, okay. Parents are in the family room and the lad's in the cell, so I'm guessing parents first, yeah?
Yes.
You know where you're going, don't you, fella?
Yeah, I do.
I'm glad they gave us a little insight to the nurse there of like, God, I hate juvenile cases.
Yeah, we're seeing everybody's perspective, obviously.
Well, you've seen it.
Yeah.
We can see it's taking a toll on each and every officer and now even the nurse in the whole station.
My name's Paul Barlow. I'm from Story in French. I've been allocated Jamie's case.
When a violent death's taken place, that's sometimes the name of the game. The question is whether or not that was proportionate, and that we'll look at that later.
Proportionate.
I'm going to go get myself briefed. If you can hang tight for me, and someone will be along with you shortly.
Thank you.
No. Cheers, mate. Of course.
She'll be on the way down.
Is it the usual room?
Yes.
Are we finally going to capture the details for our sake now?
Okay, murder. Okay, so I'm assuming you're going after possession and threatening as well, then?
Yep.
Can I know anything about the victim?
Well, you will do.
Okay. Is it a media blackout, is it? Because I couldn't see anything on my phone.
We're still looking for the relatives, their dad.
Ooh.
Anything else I need to know?
Nothing we're going to tell you now, mate.
When was the victim pronounced?
At the scene, multiple wounds.
Ooh.
And I have to ask him just one last thing.
What?
I just need 2 minutes of your time.
Yeah, sure.
We've got a teacher here from Brooklyn Academy.
All right, I'll be up.
I'll be so quick.
Whoa, follow me.
Well, these guys definitely have a history. Oh, and they don't give it to us.
Can I have Mr. Miller, please? Aye, sir. We just need you in the medical suite just while your son has some samples taken, please.
I'll be as quick as I can.
Watch him with the needle.
All right.
Just follow me, sir.
Dude, so it was at 10:13 p.m.
Yeah.
And then the arrest took place at 6:15.
And we found out it was a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Jamie, can I just get you to stand here for me? Just gonna do a quick mouth swab if that's okay.
It's press on there, there'll be a red light that'll come on.
And the amount of people involved in this, it's like, what are we up to, like 15?
Lovely. And your middle finger.
Trying to see his arm for those scratches.
Yeah.
I thought there was something on his left.
Nearly there.
Wait, it's all right.
Nearly there. Keep looking at your dad. Oh,
There you go.
Nearly, yeah.
Good lad. Good lad, see?
Does he have another accident?
I'm going to have to ask you to take your clothes off.
All of them.
I need to conduct a strip search.
Whoa.
We need to make sure that there's no other cuts or bruises that we need to be aware of.
I think this is a bit serious as well, don't you? I mean, how would you have felt if you were 13 and you had 2 grown men looking at your bits?
I wasn't accused of a crime.
Oh.
He's 13.
Let's go to we can tell him no.
Procedure.
Oh, man, this is escalating.
It's fine.
You okay?
I don't mind.
They're still trying to get the passcodes for the phone, too.
I'm going to pop your clothes on the side there, yeah. You want to turn to face me?
Emotional distraught he's going through right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it together.
He is telling a story with his face.
And you can pop your arms down now. You can turn back to face me one more time. Okay, and if I can just ask you to lift up your penis, I need to make sure that there's no defensive wounds on your scrotum. I'll ask you to pop these clothes on for me, and then we'll pop yours just in this bag here.
Man.
Whoa.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just some chairs in there.
Thank you. Jamie, do you want to pop yourself on the other side of that table and Dad can sit next to you?
All right, here we go. Now we'll get some info.
I think you can decipher between questions you should answer and questions you shouldn't answer.
I don't know.
Well, wouldn't the parents know where he was last night?
Where were you last night, Jamie?
No, come on.
That's it. That's it. Whenever you're unsure, whenever it's 50-50, just say no comment. And if I think you should answer the question, I'll advise you so, all right? But you're a very bright lad, and I think you'll do absolutely fine. I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to see how they're getting on setting up for this interview. If you could sit tight, try to be patient for me. I'll be back for you. All right?
Wouldn't
I was
be like,
thinking,
yeah, he was at home at 10:15 last night.
yeah. Well, he doesn't know about the timeline.
Yeah.
I think the police have some pretty compelling evidence. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to ask for blood. They wouldn't have been able to make the entrance that they did. Now, I don't know what that evidence is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to become clear to us very soon. Okay?
Whoa.
Look, they're shaping up for the interview. I need a minute just to have a look through everything. Can you sit with him? You all right doing that? I'll be back for you shortly. Okay. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Okay. All right.
Compelling evidence.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't have been able to.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, and what I'm trying to say is that even though we haven't gotten a complete story here,
Yeah.
for details, they already kind of set it up for us too. Just it's not going to be.
That's not good.
Look at me.
He's gonna ask him.
Did you do it?
No.
Yeah. Just before we go in, Jamie, just go over what we said in there again. If you're unsure, just look to me. Remember that no comment. And your dad will be by your side all the way through it. All right? Okay? Okay.
You see that look that he had just before we had to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so intense.
Hey, Jamie. Why don't you sit down there?
This is like a whirlwind of stuff happening.
Do you have good friends, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, who are your good friends?
You battered my door down this morning, so I'm not sure you can say that.
Oh.
I noticed on your Instagram that you reposted a picture of this model. What's her name, Jamie?
I just like her pictures.
You don't know her name?
Oh.
Okay. You also posted a picture of this woman.
Why? How would the parents not know what their kid, a 13-year-old?
That's what I'm saying. At 10:15 at night, why wouldn't they know?
Well, he's 13.
Yeah.
You posted pics of you and who I think are friends. Where were these pictures taken?
Train station, I think.
Okay. Who are these boys?
I'm trying to see the pictures.
I know they're.
Is it always you three out together?
I guess so, yeah.
How long have you known them?
Man, the tension here.
Tommy and then Ryan came in year 4.
Okay. What do you guys like to do?
Well, the way they have to guide this, especially around the no comments and then just shift.
She occasionally comments on your Instagram post, doesn't she? So, it's probably a sign that you were, like, friends, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
And do you think other people would describe you two as friends?
What is she who's dead then?
Why would you ask her?
Is she?
Oh, yeah. She is.
Oh, okay.
Her body was found at Crowther's car park just past 10:30 p.m. Paramedics arrived at the scene, were unable to stop the bleeding. It was confirmed that she was killed less than an hour before, which means between 9:30 and 10:30 p.m. Where were you at that time?
Holy shit.
Bet you were out.
No comment.
Okay, if I were to ask your dad here what time you were home, what would he say?
No, I was on call. I'd been in for 10 minutes when you kicked me door in.
And you're not interviewing Mr. Miller?
No.
Okay, that answers that, I guess.
You didn't kill her?
No, I didn't. You've got me confused with someone else.
Do you know how many times she was stabbed, Jamie?
No.
7 times.
Jesus.
Neck, thigh, arm, a lot of stabbing.
Does that upset you?
Of course it does. Look at him. She's a young girl.
You do know what CCTV is, don't you, Jamie?
Oh, shit. They have that over there.
Oh, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
They have it over there.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh,
because he's told them he's not even a friend. He doesn't really know it. Do you know what I mean?
Totally forgot they have that over there.
They had. Remember in the waiting room with the family there? It said CCTV.
They have CCTV everywhere.
Everywhere in the streets. Yeah.
Gone through council footage, local businesses.
What we've managed to do is we've put together a timeline of her movements and your movements, okay?
They did all this in like a couple hours?
And 10 o'clock last night, 6 o'clock this morning.
We see you here at the battered place, 9:02 p.m. Got you here passing the library, 9:17 p.m. Got you here corner of Shetley, 9:43 p.m.
13-year-old?
That's still getting me.
Then Katie pops up. You see, we don't see when you spotted her, but we do see you following her. Why were you following her, Jamie?
Wow.
You sure you don't want to tell us what happened? You're going to have to say it sooner or later.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. I'm now going to play you some footage.
Oh, footage now.
You and Katie from the car park last night where a confrontation happened.
Oh, no.
Oh, he hears breathing.
That's.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh.
I think that's enough. Okay? That's where we are.
Yeah, there's your compelling evidence.
There will be blood on those trainers, Jamie. And if this tape is evidence, you want to say sorry to Katie's mum, who I had to talk to just past midnight last night while she was sobbing on the floor because her daughter is gone. Do you want to say sorry to her? I'm terminating this interview at 7:12 a.m. Let's go.
Dude, I feel bad for the dad because this kid straight up lied to his face multiple times.
Yeah.
But I get it. The kid was probably out of fear, guilt.
What about the parents of the other kid?
And the parents of the other kid.
Well, and the fact that they had the footage of it and you'd have to watch that as a parent.
After being told by your son, I didn't do it.
Yeah, on both ends, both, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Promise, too. And Dad was just trying to be real with him, like, yes or no, it doesn't matter. I just want to know.
Alan.
Oh, wow.
What have you done? What have you done? Why?
It wasn't.
It wasn't me.
He's a 13-year-old kid. What else is he going to say?
Still in the shock of it.
Oh.
Whoa, what a first episode. That was probably one of the most intense first episodes I've ever seen, especially with the way the camera work was being done.
Yeah, that was...
It almost made you feel like you were right there at every beat.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen a ton of episodes of Law and Order, right? And so many of them deal with, something along this line. I don't know, they might have even done episodes that maybe even mirror this exactly. But you're right, Diamond Dave, with the way that everything was shot, with the continuous camera shot, the way they followed everybody around. I mean, you were there the whole time, basically in real time. I'm assuming the times match up from the time that, we started at the house to when we ended in the interrogation room there. I'm going to assume that it was all in real time because it was a continuous shot. So that was wild. It just makes it so different. Again, I'll make the comparison to Law and Order. They do the same type of thing, right? But it's the way this was done just takes it to another level. And just the performances by everybody were incredible, of course. Like I said, I had the same question you did. I'm like, why is a 13-year-old kid out at, 10 o'clock at night and the parents don't know where he is? Because you think the mom could be like, oh, he wasn't there. He was at home, or at least I knew, had some idea where he was. So that's curious to me that the parents were like, didn't know what was going on. Now they did clear it up with the dad where he's like, I was on call, throughout the night or whatever. So, there's that, but real wild on just the whole situation. Again, a story like this, after seeing the CCTV footage, that hits a little close to home. It wasn't that long ago. We had a case in Wisconsin very similar to that. It did make pretty much national, worldwide news. It was the Slender Man case. I don't need to go into it. If you're curious, you can look it up for yourself. I'm not going to give it any more publicity other than that, but something like this does hit pretty close to home because, it wasn't that long ago, and it was right in our backyard here that something along these lines happened with, similar aged people. So just an incredible episode that I was not ready for this at all. Wasn't, sure exactly what I was getting into. And the feeling that you have watching it is just an absolute ride of emotions from, anxiety and curiosity and not knowing and questioning. And you're having all these things happen, and they're firing just so much dialogue at you. The actors and everyone involved, it's constant. There's no wasted motion in anything in the episode. You're taking the ride with the 12 to 15 people that are involved in the case, and just everything that's happening with them. You're getting each one of their point of view, briefly. We saw, of course, with his lawyer or solicitors, whatever it's called over there, the lawyer, the arresting officers, everybody involved, the nurse. We kind of saw all their points of view for a minute. And yeah, it's like I said, when they were going back and forth with the cell and following everybody, I mean, it's enough to make you dizzy and trying to take in everything that's happening. So just a wild first episode, and I guess there's 3 more to go. So, I'll see where things kick off from there, but this is going to be really intense.
Yeah, if the rest of them are anything like episode 1, we are in for quite a wild ride. It was intense from the moment go. I mean, we had our short little tiny bit of levity, like right away at the beginning with the apple and the burp. And then it went right into like tense situations from the police breaking in to every scene in the police station, which gives you a real insight. Yeah, Law and Order, they can kind of, skip through some of the, quote unquote, dull parts of the job, but they just showed everything here from beginning to end. And And like you're sitting there like going, God, like I would be super impatient too, just like how the parents were, or how his sister is, because they have to sit there and just wait.
Just sit here and
you
wait.
just wait. And I mean they have, and obviously the police, they have to do their due diligence. And you saw the overwhelming evidence, and like you even saw it on Paul is the solicitor, and
the lawyer.
He is like, they must have some, and just seeing the dad's heart break in that final scene when he sees the CCTV. And if you watch any like true crime shows, if they do any from across the pond, that is like 99% of the time, that's what they'll find is all the CCTV that they need to be able to make it an open and shut case, that no one ever can really get away with it. And and just proves right here that Adolescence, with their great writing in this episode and the behind the scenes look, they showed that too, because yes, that is prevalent over there, that you see it. We have CCTV here, but it's not as well versed as over there with how much they have it everywhere. But a highly intense episode, and like you wanted to believe the kid. And there was even,
they show that,
and there was even some little doubts to me, because I'm like, because you're thinking of it. Obviously, I'm just a dog dad, but you're thinking of a parent, like, okay, and especially when he looks you in the eyes and tells you, I didn't do anything wrong, and then he promised, you're secretly kind of rooting for him that maybe they did get the wrong kid, maybe they did something wrong somewhere along the lines, and then right with the dad at the end, my heart breaks just right along with him, because you saw how they did the interrogation, exactly how it'd play out. Nice and easy, and then you come into, hey, this is what we got right here. Now I'll call it quits. And it was just an intense show and an intense start to this series. Wow.
Can I even take my fucking headphones off? Jesus Christ. I have a 4.5-year-old son, and we do the absolute best we can to raise him right. My fiance and I are both very present parents, and we just have the one, you try very hard to do things right. And one of the things that they did so well with this is they just make you feel every emotion that the father had, and you find yourself throughout the course of the episode feeling bad for the kid, but as a parent, like, holy shit, imagine like your son having to go through that. And then they hit you with the picture in the interrogation room, and you almost feel guilty in a sense for feeling so bad for the father. And then it becomes real that another family lost their child. And then you're like, it hits you hard, because you really realize like how many lives are ruined here. I don't think it's a stretch to say that losing a child is the worst thing a human being can go through. And I would, of course, it's a very dark hypothetical, but like as a parent, like how do you even, if you have multiple kids and you lose a child, of course you have to carry on and do the things you do because you have multiple kids to raise, but, and of course we don't know the situation of the other parents, but if you had one child and something like this happened, it's like, I don't even know how you fucking wake up the next morning, like how you go about each day. I mean, and so all of a sudden your heart breaks for the other family, and then you see the reaction of the dad, and you realize this family is completely shattered and done. So everybody, it's just so many lives are ruined here, so many. But you still, for as young as he is, you still have a guilty party who should know right from wrong, and that has to be addressed. Throughout the course of the entire episode, he was lying to his parents, and of course, like, kids lie. I didn't do it. They lie, hoping they're not going to get caught, hoping that somehow they can, have the blame shifted elsewhere or placed on somebody else. But he knew he did it, Probably wasn't even thinking about the CCTV. Lied straight to his dad, lied to the detectives, lied to the lawyer or solicitor as it's listed here, and he continuously lied. And I think at his age, they made a very clear point of showing how sharp he was and things like that. So he very well knew what he did was wrong.
It was almost like he was stuck in shock and denial.
Yeah, it's like very much shock and denial, like shock that he got caught for it.
When they showed the image when he was getting his fingerprints done, I thought his facial expression changed a little bit to the point of like, they got me.
Yeah, well,
I briefly thought they
the
got
thing
me.
is like, look, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a law enforcement official, but you know, you would have to imagine, like, if somebody was under suspicion for doing something, come to your house, hey, we need to bring you in for some questioning. We have the things to go over.
That's one thing.
If they're busting down your door with that sort of team, they've got you. In 90, look, there is the chance where there's a mistake, and of course you have the parent saying you got the wrong person, and that has happened. I understand that, but we also have to. We should clarify kind of what Answer said. A lot of businesses here have CCTV. A lot of homeowners now have Ring cameras and stuff like that. And it's not just banks and stuff. Like every business has I shouldn't say every, but so many of them have parking lot cameras and everything. So while we don't have a government-run CCTV, there are cameras everywhere.
It's just that America being so vast.
It's a different story over there because they have it on every street corner. They can follow you from street corner to street corner. And here in the States, people, question that whether that's a privacy thing. But if it's in public and it's keeping people safe, then there's a discussion to be had there. This was really hard to watch. It was incredibly acted. The continuous shot was wildly creative.
Amazing.
And it's hard because I know it's fiction. But it's reflective of things that happen in real life. All that being said, like I'm trying not to be that parent, but at the same time, like now I'm going to say, like, there has to be a level of trust that you have with any child. It's like in the 80s, it's like, hey, don't read your kid's diary, right? That's rude if you read your kid's diary. But, hey, it's our job I feel like in today's day and age, and I don't know how long this has been going on for, I feel like so many parents are trying so much harder to be their kid's friend in 2025 and be the cool parent or the cool dad or the cool mom, half the time just for fucking social media, that they don't want to be the parent anymore. And I'm sorry, but whatever social media is around when my kid is 13, if he even has it, that's questionable for a 13-year-old to have a Facebook or an Instagram page. Are you going to go in and read every message they send to all their friends? That's questionable. But how are you not knowing what your 13-year-old son is posting? And if your kid's gone at 10 o'clock on it's a weeknight because they made it very clear that his other kid was getting ready for that school that day, okay? Yep. So it was a weeknight. Yep. And a 13-year-old kid is out at 10 o'clock on a weeknight. Dad said he got called in. Where was mom? Why is the kid even allowed out that late? Like, and again, I don't want to come across as that parent. Like, why is your kid out that late?
That's the first thing I question.
Why is your kid out that late? And the pictures that they show on Instagram, it's hard for us to see, but it looks like adult women in lingerie, bra, panties, whatever the fuck you want to say. So there's a side of me as a parent who's getting mad. Like, do you not know what your kid is posting on social media? Like, that's bad.
Well, hey, and you got to keep in mind, some parents just don't. And it's, you could say some, and I'm not sticking up for that because, at the end of the day, that's their choice, their call, not my life. Right?
You can see these pictures are
correct.
Bad.
You could see those are bad, but I'm just saying some
flag.
parents, just don't.
Well, and the other thing is the dad's sitting here being like, "Oh, he's a good kid. He's a good kid." So did the teachers not report any of the problems?
Apparently not, because the detective brought up the behavioral problems.
Well behaved at school. Isn't that what they said?
They were saying no. The last year, behavior is kind of gone down. School. Great student, but behavior-wise.
So when you're a, I know it's fictional. Just gonna take a deep breath.
Well, it's based on a true story, from what I understand.
No.
Nope.
Events
all conglomerated.
I just looked it up. So I was like, man, is this a real story?
Your teachers are like, hey, your kid's having some serious behavioral problems. The first thing I'm doing as a parent, you know what? I'm gonna step in. Do you have social media? Yes. What are you posting? Who are you talking to? Who are you following? Who's following you? The second your kid has behavioral problems, you have to step in as a parent. And they're showing pictures of him posting adult women in next to nothing on his social media. Where the fuck are the parents? Where the fuck are the parents? And look, they did a great job of having the dad acting so emotional, and you feel so guilty for the dad. And the mom's like, oh, well, the mom was like, oh, they threw us on the floor. And the detective did a good job of saying, well, if that happened, you can file a report, but we told you to get on the floor. And the daughter's like, no, they didn't throw us on the floor. So look, I understand it's a very high stress situation for the family. And it's a very emotional show. I'm trying to process it all, but there's a strong part of me that's saying, what's going on with the parents?
Like I said, that was my number one question. Why is the kid even out that late? But
well, and I'll go back to like when you say that, like I'm from a small, tiny little town, and granted these are different times now and everything like that, right? But then I would ride my bike in 2 miles into town because I lived in the country. That would be like at 3 o'clock on the weekday because school was done. I'm going back by the boys, and then it would be sometimes dark when I got home because I decided to push the limit, and I never got in trouble for that. And I'm not saying it's bad or good that the parents didn't, like my parents didn't step in. Maybe they should have, to be honest.
But to clarify too, it does get dark at like 4:30 in Wisconsin some days.
We're talking he's in what, 7th grade here? He's 13. 7th or starting 8th grade. 7th or 8th grade. Look, 10 is pretty, and I know, every parent's got different curfews, so I don't want to be like, oh, you should have this curfew. 10 on a school night for a 13-year-old is that's pretty late for a 13-year-old on a school night.
Again, not saying
just to be
just saying some
my parents work second shift, so I was out whenever I wanted.
Some parents' work schedules that affects it too.
That's a different case, right?
So it varies from parent to parent, and again, however the parents want to raise their kids, that's on them. Yeah. But yeah, I question I would love to know how the mom's schedule is, dad's schedule. Sounds just by the tidbit they gave us, right? He was on call, working overnight, is what it made it sound like, because he said 10 minutes
you
before
got home,
you guys kicked in the door. That's when I got there, right? Something like that. So, and sometimes too, the kids are doing whatever with their friends, and the parents can ask all day long, hey, how was your day? What happened today? Just the typical stuff, just to kind of see what they were doing. They could just give you the very quick, short answers and not give you a damn thing about in depth about what Johnny and Jill and whomever else did. Right? Yeah, they were actually down at the dam throwing in rocks or whatever. Right? I'm not going to tell you that, Mom. I'm not going to tell you that, Dad. Yeah. And that's kind of like the case that I got here is just the parents are probably doing what they think is best, but the Jamie here does not give them any information. And I am curious, why are we going to get answers to the teachers? Yep, we tried contacting the parents several times. They never took our calls. Or, yep, we knew as parents, we got the calls, but we didn't think anything of it due to XYZ.
Yeah, whatever.
So just on some of those tidbits for me is what I'm still trying to ponder, and I'm hoping we get something. Because it's not a big deal if we don't get a follow-up because it's out there now. So it's just leaving you to wonder.
Well, it'd be nice because right now all we can do is speculate, right?
Well, that was the thing too, is I was going to say with the parents, well, he's still getting good grades. All right, then we'll work on the behavior things. But as long as he's getting good grades.
And that's
my brother used to get detentions all the time, but he was getting straight A's. So it was hard for my parents to really get too mad at him.
That's a really good point.
He was still getting straight A's.
That's a really good point that you bring up, Answer, because so often, and I'm not going to say how it is over there, but so often here, we correlate getting good grades with good behavior. And look, there's some kids who are angels who might not, make straight A's, and some kids who make straight A's that are, assholes. And so, but it is a very good point that oftentimes you get they're getting good grades in school.
And I haven't heard from your teacher.
Must be doing good. You're getting good grades. That doesn't mean that your behavior outside of school is good. It doesn't mean that you're not, being mean to kids on social media, and that's the one thing. Look, I'm never. I work in social media, so I'm never going to be the guy who's like, oh, this damn social media is ruining our generation. There's there's pluses and minuses that you can put out there, but it does give kids the ability to bully and be rude and do all sorts of things, and never having to say it face to face to a person, right? So there's a whole different world of trouble they can get into on social media that didn't previously exist. Now, that being said, there's a digital trail of it all, basically a digital CCTV. Everything can be screenshotted, all your data, all your messages, whether you delete them or not, they're still there, people. So it can all be tracked. But it was a lot to take in. And now I'm super curious as far as how this is only 4 or 5 episodes.
We got 3 more left.
Oh, so it's only 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it feels like they told us so much story already, but this feels like the beginning to like a 10s, like a True Detective or something.
Yeah, they're getting through the first layer right here.
8 or
and
10
there's gonna be
series
about 10
thing. So
more.
for this to be only 4 long, very well written, very well acted, incredibly shot. It's diff. As reactors, it's almost given how heavy the subject matter is, you almost feel like, oh wow, the cinematographer did a great job here, because people watching our reaction would be like, guys, did you look at the fucking subject?
But the cinematography affects our reaction.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, like I said, I made the Law and Order
that's one of my next
comparison.
things. I know I said it during the reaction.
Go ahead, let it rip, Diamond Dave.
It's several different times there, but I'm going to say it one more time. The way they shot everything, you were the fly on the wall.
Yeah, you were there.
For this whole thing. At least that's how I felt. Which I can't in this moment right now recall another piece of film or TV show where 3 minutes in, because they had that car, the detectives were in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice soft tone, and then we see 4 police cars. You're like, oh, okay. And then you get another angle.
Yeah.
There's several more.
SWAT team.
It's basically a SWAT just ready to pounce down the door. And then from that moment on, you're just like, whoa, like you're in it. We're in it now, right? Yep. So bravo to Stephen Graham and the crew for having that effect in episode 1. And I'm sure that's how it's going to be for the next 3. Kudos to all the actors, because I am intrigued to, after this is done, all 4 episodes, to see if there's anything out there, and you may know this already, see if there's anything behind the scenes, because it does with these continuous shots, and I assume the transitions came into play whenever they were doing the spin, and it was just such a smooth thing that even on these long shots, if someone missed a line, did they ad-lib a little bit to kind of bring them back in, or were they like, hey, stop, we got to go all the way back to this part here and run it all the way through again. Just phenomenal acting from everybody. I want to say too, now as diving back into the story, when we got to the police station there, the emotions on the officer, the nurse, and everyone else involved, they were really telling the story with their face. And even on the back shot on the officer, when they just put Jamie in the dry cell, he had his hands up, but you were looking from the back. So even just that little bit of body language, you can kind of get some kind of sense that, man, it was like it's uncomfortable for them too, which they acknowledge too, right? They hate juvie cases. So I can't imagine what it's like on a daily basis for for the men and women that are police officers that have to go through such things. I can't imagine what that's like. But the interrogation scene too, watching them go basically through it. Oh, no comment? All right, well, we're steering over here till we get to this point, and then you're either going to tell us no comment, or now we have to swing it over here. So the interrogation was building to the laptop, essentially.
Yeah, in fact, they knew they had everything.
They knew the second. Like you guys said, the only reason why they used that kind of force to get into the house was because they had damning evidence.
Yeah.
So bravo to Stephen Graham in the child actor here, because after, and I still believe that right now he's clearly a brilliant kid, at least grade wise, and he is still a huge denial, shock. I mean, geez, it was 10 o'clock to 6:15. No, he just probably fell asleep a couple hours ago, realizing or still processing what the hell he did.
Yeah.
And the emotions that Stephen Graham had to show as a parent, I can't even fathom what that wave would hit, because as Jamie was telling him, I didn't do it, I promise. You as a parent or guardian want 100% to be like, all right, you didn't do it. I believe you.
Yeah, we're
good. And then you're on that train.
That's
but then when you get slapped in the face with that kind of evidence, How do you not just drop to the floor? And I am kind of happy that he eventually did console him a little bit, but it's damning evidence that Jamie did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to process moving forward here, but we're probably going to get that. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
All right, this was an amazing episode, amazingly done by everybody involved. Everyone did a great job on this episode. So for Appleton, Oak, Diamond Dave, that's Mason Quinn. I'm of course the answer. We will catch you on the next one, pals.